Renekton will most likely come in as the obvious one.
Let's see if they also respect things like the Kiana. Following it up as well. Kayla's been very pivotal, but this matchup might actually be determined by a lot more focus on the early game than we saw in our previous best of 5 to open up the day.
Yeah, because when you have two teams who are very focused around jungle support, creating plays together, most of that happens in the early game. Once you get to late game, your group is 5 anyway, and then you have to team fight.
And already we're seeing a little bit of a pinch on the jungle here with the red side, or the blue side, Gragas ban from Phoenix 1+. I think that focusing on the Elise and the Lee Sin here could come in very quickly.
So I was about to mention also Ryze and Renekton as kind of two choices you had to look at as Fnatic. We've seen Renekton first pick multiple times already. We know Ryze is an amazing pick for doing B, and we know they can flex it, but they're actually grabbing Xayah for the second time only all year long.
Yeah, focusing on the bottom side, and Fnatic as well. There's been a lot of discussion, of course, from the group stage, them playing Garen, them playing Morgana, not Marksman.
There it is.
But they've already locked it in. The Yuumi is there. Twisted Fate.
Wait, I'm excited about TF.
Hold on,
I don't care about Yuumi.
You don't care about Yuumi?
I want TF.
Twisted Fate is more important because Nemesis has looked best when he is on roam champions. Range champions for the mid lane that can then affect the side lanes. But you have to say, Yuumi is a champion that defines the entire team composition.
Well, the Twisted Fate for Nemesis, 7 wins, during the summer split, 2 losses to his name. It was a champion that helped define him in the summer split. And there's that Ryze that you were talking about a moment ago, Deficio.
Yeah, we know again they can flex it into 2 lanes. I think if they do decide to put it mid, expect early game jungle attention towards the lane so they can try and actually put TF behind. And really, that is just the story of this game here, this series. Both mid laners are capable of playing this push into roam, and it requires jungle and support attention. Yuumi cannot help. She's stuck with the Garen, so that could give an edge to FPX.
And the big difference this time round for the Yuumi Garen from group stage is the Twisted Fate was banned every single time. So I want to see Nemesis coming, help out that kitty cat and tank in the bottom lane.
Definitely going to try and lend them some help. On the other side, for FPX, the Ryze is something that was pretty critical because Doinby had an interview after their group stage games where they looked remarkably weaker than their LPL play during all of summer, basically. And he talked about needing to play a carry champion. This is one of his most played champions. He does build somewhat defensively on it, getting things like the Righteous Glory, so he can still be the point man for the team and create plays.
100% agree. And while Fnatic can play towards the Garen Yuumi lane, you don't have to. They still have the option on red side to last pick top. Try and go for a counter matchup, then abuse the fact you have TF ulti to guarantee basically snowballing this matchup here. GP was banned early. That's typically the normal blind pick they would go for on red, but they don't have to. Whippo could be on a carry.
Honestly, I would rather see Whippo on an offensive champion for Fnatic and have Twisted Fate try and enable that.
Exactly.
Because we have seen FPX look their worst when they're under attack early, when they're the recipient of the tower dives rather than the ones with the pushing lanes getting them off.
I just want to highlight this clip ban. Might seem a little bit weird, but it is something FPX can play in both lanes. Raz already highlighted this on the analyst desk, and they could have taken it, put it potentially against the TF to try and see if they could snowball the lane. It is removed now. Jarvan obviously also taken away on the side of Fnatic.
And Elise here, we're talking about tower dives, perfect jungle champion to get those off the ground. The only missing piece to that Fnatic composition would be a damage-oriented champion for Whippo. So we shall see. FPX have to show first.
Exactly, and I actually like the Olaf pick here as well. 1, you can match early game, and 2, you can run TF down. Like, there's no way for him to fully escape when an Olaf comes charging at him. Camille can also be put mid in this situation here, so you have amazing setup to try and shut down a very squishy, low mobility pick on the side of Fnatic, but we expected to carry top because we want to see if there are more lanes they can play around with TF and not just the Garen Yuumi lane.
Camille mid has seen a lot of success already.
Oh my God, he
at the World
I can't believe it.
We're talking it up. Carry champion, but nobody wanted to say the words. Finally, his infamous Rengar top.
2 professional games played. 1 win, 1 loss. He went 5 kills, 10 deaths, 8 assists. It's one of the most controversial top lane picks in European history. And in a quarterfinal matchup, the carry that Bwipo chooses is another kitty cat.
I love it because if you just look one day back on the social media, literally has Young Buck telling you, please stop playing Rengar top. Well, you keep playing what you love and eventually you get to play on the world's stage.
Now, do we like it? Deficio or Kobe, what do you think?
So in a game one of a best of 5, yes, I like it. You can gamble, you can take the chance. I think it's the kind of pick where if he gets ahead, the amount of pressure he puts on the map by just going missing from his top lane, it's absolutely insane. You literally cannot sit mid when he's missing top side. I don't think the 1v1 early game is very good though.
And there's a big if. I'll talk a little bit more about Rengar top matchups when we get into the game, but it hinges so much on early priority. If Rengar loses priority on the brush, it becomes a useless top lane champion. All right, Quickshot's giving me the slowdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fun Plus Phoenix taking on Fnatic. This was potentially the most exciting set of quarterfinals we've ever had in World Championship history. And to open the first quarterfinal of the day, Poppy mid was a thing. Now we have Rengar top and Garen Yuumi bot.
And also we have level 1, always important in Fnatic games. FPX, what have they prepared? Sitting 5 members bottom side, can now either move up towards the river as 5 into the small little brush and then late invade on blue, or they can see if someone is coming down on the Fnatic side to check early. It looks like they're moving in towards blue here. Fnatic, 5 members on bottom side as well.
All
Will be spotted.
Yeah, they're going to get early vision here. Easy disengage for Fnatic, but they can't fight it. Even if they know that they're here, you cannot challenge the Olaf Rise early.
Oh, they're still around.
Oh, the engage has already come in. Fun plus hope over the wall. Fnatic start to back away. You and me can use a little bit there, but there's still the potential for an engage.
Staying in it. They have a ward on the other side now, FPX, so they can see Fnatic are walking that route around to get back towards the blue buff. Seems like they want to try to steal blue, maybe split the map in half.
They're getting pretty hyped up too. Yuumi already using the Ignite from Hylissang.
No one's giving up this blue buff.
Gold card is primed. We're going to keep a close eye. Crisp gets locked down.
Guys, we have 10 players trying to get a blue buff. Level 1. Here we go!
That's a massive knockup. Fun plus find the engage. Fnatic are retreating. The precision protocol correction, the hookshot rather, sends Camille flying at blue buff. Still not yet conceded. Now the smite goes down. It resets. It resets. Welcome to the World Championship, ladies and gentlemen, where the Sentinel resets and goes the way of Fnatic.
That was Tien's smite right there. Now is it Olaf without blue buff and what, 50, 60 mana to his name? That is going to be very difficult trying to get back into it.
It was harder to take down the blue buff than a North American team here at Worlds.
I just got here, man.
I just got here.
Shots fired as Deficio is landed at Worlds. But let's go back to this Tian point. Raz has talked this man up so much today. Kobe, what impact is this going to have on Olaf's jungling?
I'm still reeling. I'm on the floor here. Quick shot. Delivered a defeating blow already. I want to focus on this Rengar matchup. Not exactly sure what you just said for the setup, but Rengar top, as we said, requires that early pressure, does get the level 2. Bwipo going hard, has the empowered Q, Conquer proc.
He's chasing 110 HP. Savagery! Bwipo solo kills Gimgoon.
That is how you do it. Gets in the extra jumps, pushes hard for the level 2, and chases him down with Conquer.
700 gold lead. Gimgoon TPs back to lane, and Bwipo's pick pays off.
It's the classic level 2 power spike. Nothing Camille can do to fight back. Brock's around mid.
All right, where's the cocoon? Doinby has got himself the flash and very easily sidesteps it, so makes it out alive.
All right, bottom, they're going to have a trade here, but it's Garen, as you know, with the Yuumi, will just heal back up. Because Rengar top is abnormal for pro play. I want to continue to focus on it. And what I was going to talk about was that Fnatic have drafted around it. You saw them get the setup before they lock it in for last pick. They require Twisted Fate mid to help out with extra pressure from ganking from mid with the ultimates. And a jungler like Elise that can play off of that pushing pressure can threaten dives.
Do you also think it's important to highlight Broxah looking towards mid early? As we kind of highlight, mid priority is so key between both teams. Nemesis was very low in that lane. He had to go back and blow TP early on. Let's see, bot lane dive.
All right, teleport's coming in. That's the knockup landing onto Reckless. He decides to turn back to the tower, but this is an easy kill. Crisp is the one that gets the credit. Hylissang's low on mana. The turret aggro has been swapped. Tian goes low, survives by 80 HP. Now the tower turns to LWX. It's a trade 1-for-1, but 3 members stand. A gigantic minion wave and the turret plates as well.
And let's see if anything happens top now. Normally when so many members are investing so much time bot, you cross-map instantly and try and gain an advantage. There's still flash on Gimgoon. That's important to highlight. He didn't use it last time. And Broxah ended up just recon because the wave is not in a position to actually tower dive.
Very, very big move there from FPX to get the bottom side rolling for themselves. The Xayah is going to have to be a very critical part. Let's take another look at how they started out. Calling in the Olaf plus the teleport so early on.
And it's just such a clean dive to execute. Do use TP as well, obviously, from mid, but they knew Broxah was most likely top side. There were no camps to take. He'd already shown mid from the top side, so they felt very safe going down with the jungler to actually execute this play.
And this is when FPX have looked their best. It's when they're setting up the aggressive moves on the side lanes themselves. You talk about Doinby using his teleport for the team there to try and get that going. It does find some success for them. The top side, though, is going to be heavily Fnatic favored. You see these 3 Doran stacks from Bwipo. You have to keep the pressure rolling on a pick like this.
But I think you highlighting in the TP is important. It's a big investment, you know? He lost more minions in mid. Nemesis is actually ahead in experience. He will hit level 6 fairly soon.
All right, Reckless gets knocked up once again. LWX and Crisp having a good time in this lane, applying pressure to the Fnatic bottom.
And a big reason why it is important, Deficio, and you talked about Broxah going mid. If you get to lend some pressure as Broxah towards mid and free up Nemesis, then all of a sudden you get to use that proactive Twisted Fate ultimate that is going to be Fnatic's answer to it.
All right, of course, you've talked a lot about FunPlus and how this style has worked out. The analyst desk was talking a lot about Summer versus Worlds. I actually just want to quickly remind everybody just how dominant FunPlus Phoenix was. This is their LPL Summer record. 35-6, kills at 15, out the charts, and a 1.4 average goal lead at 15 minutes.
It was by basically executing plays like the one we just saw here. It's not about individual advantages in these lanes. You don't have laners who just stomp whoever they play against, which we have seen from very dominant Chinese teams in the past. It's teamwork, it's communication, and it's coordination. Mainly mid-jungle, so Tian and Crisp, and then, of course, setting up Doinby to get priority in mid, and then he can roam to whichever lane he wants to, and they just hard commit.
Yeah, Doinby, definitely a big part of it. It's funny because we say a lot of similar threads for Fnatic side. Twisted Fate now is level 6 and has the ultimate, so if they're looking for another side lane play, it will go completely differently because the teleports are on cooldown, and Nemesis would be the first one there.
Yeah, obvious choice seems like top lane. Like, you kind of need level 6 on Yuumi bot to actually have some sort of setup that's not just the gold card from TF himself. So Fnatic might just end up having to play defensive on bottom side. It could set up another tower dive because right now, Ryze is getting the push and he's moving again.
All right, 20 CS advantage in the top lane for Bwipo. Those triple Doran's Blades doing a lot of work. The blue buff seems to be another point of contention as FPX have moved their way into challenge this one from Fnatic.
Yeah, and they should be able to finish it off unless Broxah goes for the smite bite.
All right, Broxah gets caught up, knocked up in the air, trying to defend the blue and instantly killed.
And this is a bit of a problem here, something we have seen in the past from Broxah when he's getting put in situations where he has to decide between, do I defend on weak side, which in this case it was the weak side because his duo was back in base, they were not there to contest, or do I go and try and invade on enemy side? Like, that decision you gotta basically make instantly. He went for the, I want to defend the buff. Not the correct call, no backup for him, another good kill for FPX.
Yeah, an extremely good setup here for FPX, getting the Infernal as well for them on the opposite side of the map from Bwipo. They're not trying to fight in the Rengar's territory after that first blood money went over. I think it's an intelligent choice from FPX to just opt to the other half of the map. They can bully on the invade here with Olaf. They've got Rakan for the hard engage. That means that it is it is just not enough respect, I think, from Broxa as far as the catch.
I just want to quickly praise Crisp right here for actually reading the situation. He hides behind the corner, so he's out of vision. Yes, Broxa wants you to try and smite steal it and walk away, but he gets surprised that Rakan is in that position. So actually just a really good engage on a fairly greedy play.
And if you look at where these choices are going to take us in the game, given the context of these team compositions, you're looking at the outplay later on. There is a Fed Rengar for Fnatic. He's got CS lead, he has lane priority. They can try and transfer pressure from the top lane Rengar to try and gank that bottom lane and play off of it, but it's a Xayah. One of the reasons this is such a critical pick is because of the self-peel ultimate, and can FPX play around LWX like they did in summer in the LPL?
So after losing the fight at his own blue buff, Broxa was actually just checking enemy blue. It will now be given over. He's around. He has good, decent vision. They know where enemy jungler is. He can now path bot side, so they're ready. Actually, they're all in him.
They are indeed. That's a flash ball from Reckless. The final chapter as well. Great play from Chris to re-engage. Demacian Justice comes down, but Hilly picks up the final hit onto LWX. It's still an even goal game between the teams.
And it's so simple. Fnatic, they understand how much damage can Garen and Yuumi do together. Okay, we know we can all in. We just need to see enemy jungler. They see him at the blue buff, and then they go.
And now you also have to worry. There is no Xayah ultimate, and there's a level 8 Fed Rengar with teleport and ultimate available. I'm very curious to see how Fnatic are actually going to use Bwipo from this stage forward. If they want to take over the rest of the map, or keep him trying to punish the Camille and keep the Camille down, because that is going to become much more difficult. Trying to go the CS denial.
Oh, I love the Spanish fans echoing the feeling on the desk as the recall does complete. All right, 400 gold lead here for Fnatic to Fisho. Infernal Drake goes the way of FunPlus and Reckless.
And TF can ult. TF can ult down bot side now if he wants to. They have Broxa here as well. It might be a 4 versus 4, however, because we see constantly, top of your screen, doing B, he keeps moving into the river on bottom side. He just sits out of vision sometimes just to maybe fake that he's actually going bot, but it also stops Nemesis from just instantly TPing anywhere.
Okay, so Nemesis is being shoved in under the turret. He's got the Phage, he's got the Sheen, pretty much even on CS as Tian is now waiting in the wings. Top lane still continues to grow. Bwipo returned to lane with that Phage and Kindle Gem, cranking 40 CS up over his lane opponent, but we've not seen him TP. Every time I see Bwipo duck back into the bushes, there is that possibility.
I mean, one of the reasons he's not just TPing down is they don't have river control on the side of Fnatic. If you look at the vision, it is heavily in favor of FPX. So they don't know exactly where all of his position. They don't know how quick DoingB can actually move down. And that stops them because they do know if it is a 4-man gank and there are 3 or 4 guys suddenly from FPX, it's going to be a big fight happening, and you can't guarantee to win that.
Yeah, there's a possibility of a very big fight happening. Everyone has teleports ready to answer, and you can tell where the focus is. With that concentration of Fnatic wards on the bottom half of the map, and Broxa slipping in for a lane gank going through the control ward, they're setting up for the possible Ocean Drake coming up very quickly in that river you talk about.
Also, they are allowing Reckless and Hylissang, without flash, obviously, to push out. They can now recall and they can decide, run through mid. Do we want to go set up early Herald? That's an opportunity for you. You'll be there first. Or do you just want to return to bottom side and try and connect bot and mid? So get your push bot lane, move towards mid to clear the river wards, and then you start getting more control on bottom side.
I think they're going to have to sync a recall between Bwipo and Nemesis first. They need the completion of the Trinity Force and the Black Cleaver. Would be very big power spikes for both the solo laners here, and they may look to try and get that before they go in.
I think it's also important to highlight that people might look at Rengar as like a snowball pick, but it's actually not. He adds so much value later in the game, and we'll talk more about it when we have the full map set up outside of laning phase. But he doesn't need to snowball to be useful. It's actually a lot about how he uses ulti to apply pressure everywhere, basically.
But obviously this advantage is going to help him out.
No I mean, you always take the level 2, level 1 all in.
Take a look at the itemization as now the engage goes down on the bottom. There's the Destiny and the gate. Teleport comes forward. Reckless is going in. He's spinning, but he's not yet winning. Gimgoon and DoingB are going to return. Nemesis is already shut down. Now Reckless running for his life. Prowling projectile. Buy some time. Bwipo comes in, sinks the fangs down, and it's Savage. Turns his attention to Gimgoon. Will be able to be an unseen predator. Hopping and skipping and jumping onto FPX. He does get shut down on the fray. LWX with the Essence Reaver gets the shutdown, gets the double, and Fnatic run for the last.
That's the big focus bottom we were talking about and looking for. And in the end, actually, because of that outplay, it is FPX that come away with the extra kill. Bwipo does go down there and tries to clean them up, but that last blade caller from LWX getting the answer kill. Let's take a look at how it starts out. Everybody with their eyes towards bottom. As soon as Twisted Fate ultimate goes down, the teleports start to channel.
And I really like the CC right there from Crisp onto Nemesis instantly. And as you highlighted, Kobe, double TP coming in. Both junglers are on the other side of the map. They were not here to join the fight. It became the exact 4 versus 4 we were just highlighting. Fnatic are not guaranteed to win that. They could not take down FPX's bot lane fast enough.
So where does this leave us as we come out of the replay? 6 kills to 5, a minor gold advantage for Fnatic. As Reckless does have his recall interrupted, and I think crucially, LWX, by the way, yes, he's up 1,300 gold over his lane opponent. Take a look at total net gold for the lane, plus 700 for the duo. Essence Reaver completed, I believe he's cashed in on that Cole, and this could very well be the first tower of the game falling.
And they'll also get the Drake right now. So FPX have actually done a great job controlling bot side, which is what we saw from them in the LPL, which is one of the things they did so well. People can't decide if LWX is like an amazing player who can just carry on his own, or if he's someone who's just getting a lot of resources. Like, he loves to all in, he loves to be aggressive, but it's also easier to do that when you know your jungler and your mid laner are always looking towards your lane to try and set up, as we've seen here, multiple plays together.
Yeah, he's definitely the recipient of a lot of the pressure from Doinb and Tian roaming around the map, focusing on that bottom side, and it has paid returns. This Xayah, very good CS so far, looking towards the second item as they start up the Rift Herald, but Fnatic are decent placement. No teleport from Reckless means that is not going to be an answer.
No, Nemesis has got the Destiny available. Thrill of the hunt for Bwipo, and he's actually thrown it down. Nemesis is going to be stepping forward. Gold Card was prime, but look, Bwipo ran in, ran away. They're going to concede this one. Both teams secured 2 turret plates, but FPX got the turret first blood, and that's an engage forward onto Doinb. His flash was forced. Bwipo's now waiting in the wings. I'm looking to see if FPX can find initiation. Where is Crisp? Flash is available for him, but he holds on to it for now.
It's a very low cooldown now that it's a level 11 Rengar with the Black Cleaver, as well as another Caulfield's Warhammer of cooldown reduction. We have a pick in the jungle.
Yeah, we do. Nemesis just looks to run down Kimgoon. Gold Card Prime locked down, Prowling Projectile on Nemesis. That was just a confident play from Fnatic.
But if you look back at the last like 1 or 2 minutes, it's actually been heavily FPX favored after that fight in bot lane. They came back with the 80 carry. They actually got tempo bot side, took a turret, got a Drake secured at the same time, and Fnatic were not in a position to swap up and trade for Herald. Let's see around mid.
All right, that's the engage here from Chris. Gets multi-man charm onto Reckless as well as the support. Reckless now running for his life. Brox is in trouble, forced to get away over the wall. All of a sudden, Reckless is down. Engage in the mid lane. LWX sends the feathers flying. 2 quick kills for FPX.
And they still have the Rift Herald on top side. If you look at the mini-map, that Rift Herald is going to go into the top turret while they push mid, getting 2 lanes of objectives for themselves.
Oh man, this tower's going to fall here in the mid lane. There's no defense and support. Hylissang without somebody to work with is not going to provide the power they need. An FPX 1,500 gold lead, 3 towers to 0.
And one of the big things for Fnatic's comp here is that once you get out of laning phase and it's an open map, you can really abuse your globals. Right now, it's still early on, so they're grouped up. They're trying to actually, in this case, greed for a turret without having priority in the mid lane, and they get engaged on once again. Crisp landing a great setup.
That was the big thing there. You could see Nemesis on the inside of the Raptor pit with very low mana, only gets to throw a gold card at an ulted Olaf over that fight. So it was a really good job of FPX recognizing their opening, but bottom side, Gimgoon under attack again.
All right, great interrupt from Whip. I would like to believe he stepped in front intentionally. The cocoon lands as well, but look, there's not enough damage yet. Gimgoon and the Camille passive doing a lot of work to keep him alive as he escapes, but at the end of the day, not a huge amount committed to send him back.
Fnatic sitting 0 turrets kill, lost all the tier 1 towers. Gives FPX so many opportunities now to just push in lanes. They can decide, we want to get mid priority, that's the normal one, and then they pick a strong side where they place their vision. They secure another turret. Fnatic are all inning for these picks, either in the jungle or now just in the side lane, and they're not actually finding success.
And to me, the big difference there is that they're just not being able to actually execute on it, because I think that's how they should be playing, how they have to play. Chris finds the pick in mid.
He does indeed. Broxer will be able to repel by some time. Final chapter comes down. That's going to stun up, at least root just a couple. Reckless is considering stepping forward. Gold card was primed, and that will be enough to get the LWX ultimate out. He lands on the Rise
there you go.
and escapes with his life. Here comes Nami, but he gets chunked down, blown up, almost dead. Not just yet. Tian's trying to run him down. The rest of Fnatic are re-engaging. Doinb is in so much trouble. There goes the spin. The Demacian Justice from Reckless. He manages to get one.
Look at Camille in the mid lane.
Yeah, she comes. Gimgoon jumps back in. Reckless stays alive a few seconds longer. Not that long, though. And FPX get the delayed ace.
And they just keep winning these fights here. They're ready. They actually started the engage in the mid lane, then decided, no, let's back out with the Rise ulti, but they stayed together. Fnatic right now don't have that much damage. They can't just burst them down. So we actually saw Camille moving all the way from top to join the team later. This is the start of the fight. Now everyone from FPX decides we don't want to dive any further. Let's ulti out. We might get flanked by Rengar. So they get everyone out and they stay 4-man together right here.
And I want to highlight that path that you can see them going over, the double control wards that allow them access to get the surprise play. Then you have Fnatic trying to react with their globals, Twisted Fate and Rengar, both popping them to go in. Here, Blippo walks right up into Doinb's range, though, gets shot with the Q on the side. Once he's down, Gimgoon's teleport means there's also no escape for Hilly or Reckless.
Yeah, I think he knew, I'm not getting out of this, so I'm going to try and get the brush to see if I can actually get on to Rise with the Garen, and we might be able to get one more kill.
Well, I think Doinb sending a pretty big message to Fnatic in terms of damage in that last team fight. FPX 2,500 gold up, 4 kills up, 4 towers up, 3 dragons up, and every single punch Fnatic have thrown has not found a target.
And that's kind of the important thing here, because Fnatic's draft around 20 minutes is actually where I really feel that it comes online if they're not so far behind that they can't move anywhere, because now normally what happens is TF is in one side lane, Rengar is in the other, Garen Yuumi can hold mid, you always threaten with the Yuumi ulti if someone sits there to try and wave clear, and then your 2 side lanes, one can obviously use TP or use his ulti, the other one has to just go into a river, a brush, and then you don't know if he's actually ulting towards you as a Rengar, so it stops you from getting any sort of control mid from FPX. You see actually Whippo coming now. This is the exact setup I'm talking about, where Fnatic gets priority mid through just having side lanes who can join very quickly and gank you.
And this is kind of why I was talking about how this setup with the Rengar does actually have to snowball, because without that early priority, makes it so difficult to spread the map. You have to make use of this Twisted Fate ultimate and the Rengar. You know, one of the big strengths of the Garen Yuumi is that it takes so long even if you catch them, but FPX constantly finding these picks to attack Fnatic before they get to set up their pressure.
All right, a couple of ultimates committed top. It won't be enough, but it pulls Reckless far enough forward. He gets taken down. Doinb forced to flash defensively, but he escapes with his life. And all of a sudden, Reckless was caught out in the mid lane.
And every single time FPX starts a fight where there are multiple members together, they win. It's a big thing for them. If they start being split, and individually they can be caught off guard, then they can actually lose, but now they will win.
Oh, a lot of pressure. Hylissang's in trouble. Well, Broxer's going to be able to get over the wall. The repel bought enough time for Fnatic members to come in for the defense. So Baron has been stopped, but as it stands, Fnatic still remain on the back foot.
Yeah, I doubt Blippo's going to go in on this. That's definitely going to be an ill-advised Rengar ultimate there. Once again, FPX will get a reset off of this, and they've already got control wards on Baron where they can try and draw Fnatic. I just feel like they have so many cards to play right now.
Exactly, and you can argue snowball or not. At least don't fall behind 4 turrets to 0. And you can't actually do anything on the map right now. This is the play around mid lane. FPX already have multiple members around. Fnatic try to get at least 1 kill for it, but this Rise just refuses to die.
And I feel like I really need to give some credit to FPX's engagers. That has been the big difference maker. They've actually been able to stop Fnatic from setting up their game plan before they can even get their lanes pushing on the side. It's really good engages from Crisp. Doinb using that Rise ultimate to get the pressure down. And even here towards the end, now that we're seeing Gimgoon finally on the Camille be able to have some use after the early lane phase starvation.
I need to take a second to talk about Doinb. He's 2-0-10. His team has secured 13 kills. He's on a pretty signature pick in Rise, having 13 wins and 2 losses. And now FPX, they're starting the Baron.
Without TP. They don't have TP bot lane.
All right, so this is going to peel away. They get the Destiny, though. That's enough. That's at least one down, but look at this. The Realm Warp comes in. That's enough to force the flash from Reckless. He continues to run for his life. DoinB will find Brox, and that's already a kill. No TP, nobody cares. Demacia Justice comes down. 2 quick kills onto Fnatic.
And right there, Fnatic, after stopping the Baron, they'd already used the TF ulti, so Nemesis started to go top and catch the wave. That actually meant the 2 members were now stuck alone. FPX, they saw that great call once again, and they just dive onto Fnatic, find 2 members, no jungler alive. This should be their Baron.
Do they run the risk of going in? Final chapter is thrown down, and FPX will be able to secure it. The Yuumi ultimate not going to do enough just yet. Bwipo decides to engage. The feathers fly. That's at least one onto Chris. Defensive flash away. UNB and Zumi's doing a lot of work. Here comes Kingoon. He's going to hop over the wall. Hextech ultimatum comes down. There's the little kitty cat jumping over to Nemesis. Nemesis needs to get that gold card prime. Needs to hit the right target. As a teleport now comes in, Reckless rejoins the fray. They get 1 at the cost of 1.
I think FPX, with this Baron buff, should go for a reset to get back in time for the Infernal Drake. I mean, that's going to be very, very big in continuing. Let's talk about the engage, though, because once again, this is them starting up the objective. Reckless comes over into the river, and Deficio's losing his mind.
He probably expected TF to stay with him, and they could just kill this ward, and it would just be a full reset. But FPX, they're finding great openings. Everyone expects them to just go back there and then start all over. No, they saw, oh, this guy's alone. Let's go.
And once again, Chris, this guy on your screen, his flash is up. The Recon engage is so important. Even though it is the Garen, it is the Reckless, the tanky member on the team, they're able to find the pick. They get the Baron for themselves. And let's get back to live to see about how much they can do afterwards. Big kill here, does get traded over. As you know, Bwipo going to be able to finish that one off, but gets chased down by Gimgoon in the river.
And as it stands, 16 kills to 9, another dragon secured. Realm Warp now sends FPX into the mid lane. I held my breath for a moment because I thought they may have caught Fnatic out, and Nemesis running away with the help of Hillisang.
And as long as FPX stay together,
here comes Chris,
they cannot get caught out.
Buzz holding my breath there.
Too early, Trevor, too early.
Oh, stays together, FPX. Looking for the opportunity, but the quickness is down. That's a small win in trying to defend this turret. Actually, it doesn't matter at all. The turret just gets melted. There's the engage. Crisp still finds a target. Bwipo, a flashless Rengar. He easily gets taken down, and so does the inhibitor. Do they push for the Nexus?
That's a yes, quick shot. FPX full steam ahead. This is 5v4.
Oh, 5,000 gold lead. Gimgoon goes in. That's so much damage. Now it's being returned. Hextech ultimated by some time. Broxa gets 1 back, but at the cost of Reckless's life. Nexus turret number 1 falls. Nexus turret number 2 is the target. Hillisang needs to try to do something with the help of Broxa and Nemesis, but they can't do enough. They can't stop FPX. They can't stop the LPL in game 1. And FunPlus take the lead.
Fnatic in the first game tried Rengar and Twisted Fate. They wanted to try and split up the map, force FPX to play on all 3 lanes and get caught out left and right. But FPX managed to secure early kills. They controlled the bot side very well, at least in the early game before they started dying to the Garen Yuumi. And whenever we had an actual team fight, FPX, it always felt like they were there first and they were reacting better as a unit.
Yep, they get to start those